There we go. Much better. Hello everyone. We're back live. Thank you for joining me today. My camera quality looks a bit weird. I don't know why. It was working perfectly when I tested it earlier today. But hey, oh my god, I didn't even change anything about this slide. Sorry guys, but welcome back to another episode of Inside Fnatic's Brush. Back to a live episode this time. It's clear that I'm still out of it completely, as I've not updated anything about the main title, so sorry about those who'll be watching on YouTube. Those who watch it on Spotify, you guys don't care, it's all the same for you, but it's a bit of a mess. So I guess we'll do it live, talking about the LEC. Three games, most of them that went through all the way of best of fives, and one game that went only as a free one. We'll talk about them in details in just a minute. I'm trying to think of a title at the same time, but I'll put this one: expected winners for the LEC. This one's very easy for Fnatic, as we'll be talking about the, I believe, first reverse sweep in the history of the organization. If you guys know of another situation where we had a reverse sweep, let me know in the comments. But I believe it's the first time that we've witnessed this happening for Fnatic. Usually we're the ones getting reverse swept, sorry, as it happened against G2, TS, amongst others, Rogue more recently, unfortunately. So this time we're the ones who get to reverse sweep, so that's some good news. And going over our playoffs round 2 predictions. If some of you guys are first listeners, first viewers, usually playoffs episodes are a bit shorter. Usually I do like a full 45-minute episode, but less games means less content to talk about. So this will be a quick recap of what happened during the weekend and what to expect going forward. Very quickly, let's have... Oh no. I'm just realizing what happened. Wait. Ah, there we go. Sorry. No, it's fine. Everything's fine, guys. Everything is fine. I forgot that I had put specific slides for LEC format and LEC Playoffs format. There we go. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Anyways, for last week's results, on Friday we had Rogue versus Mad Lions. Super close game, 3-2. It went all the way. Rogue won that one as I predicted. So you know, despite me maybe having second thoughts and maybe you know, believing that Mad Lions might win it, didn't happen in the end. G2 Misfits could have been a closer game. A lot of back and forth, but G2, as expected, won it 3-1. And of course the Fnatic Excel game, which was the biggest banger of the weekend on Sunday, 3-2 for Fnatic, coming back from an awful 0-2 start and managed to bring it back in a reverse sweep, thankfully, to go forward in the bracket. Let's go game by game. First, the Rogue versus Mad Lions, which I thought was quite an impressive series, to be honest. It looked like Mad Lions was going to win it 3-1, to be honest, because Mad Lions won the first game, I would say quite convincingly. You know, if you if you look at the score line, obviously, and the way they play the map, you know, they managed to bring out Lucian Nami, which, as we all know, is very much discussed as not being a strong pick for EU. We're not able to make it work, but Unforgiven Kaiser, I believe, are very strong bot lane, especially in that game. Unforgiven went 10-1-10, quite impressive. They paired it well with a Talia and an Ornn, which works very well against the comp that Rogue drafted, which was very much an all-in comp with the Sylas, the Jarvan, and the Renekton, who just want to jump into your backline and shred. So, you know, that was pretty straightforward. There was a moment where it got a bit touchy because I believe, was it in that first game that wait, I'm not too sure now. I think it was in that game where Mad traded the Baron for Rogue getting the Elder Drake. So it put a little bit of tempo at that moment. But Mad Lions won that game pretty convincingly. Now, second game was all the way around. It's Rogue this time won pretty convincingly. So it was really a lot of back and forth this time. Roughly ended at the game had roughly the same length as the first game. Rogue ended with a 10k gold advantage. Malrang running the Jarvan again, and Mad Lions going again with the Lucian Nami bot lane. This time Rogue played much better around it and had a comp that wasn't really as hard to get to the back line, especially with the Sivir that can just ricochet with her boomerang. So, you know, all in all, that was roughly well played, in my opinion, I'd say. Now the third game, now that's where it got a bit weird because, no, sorry, the fourth game. The fourth game is where it got weird because third game was a bit of a stomp. Mad Lions just fucking ran over Rogue. Rogue only got 2 turrets. It was finished in less than 30 minutes. They got all the Drakes for 0 against Rogue. So at this moment, you're a bit like, yeah, okay. Mad Lions is looking much stronger here. Like both games that Mad Lions won, they look pretty dominant. They're playing the map properly. So there's a chance that, you know, Rogue, as usual, who are known for choking it in playoffs, it's like, well, it's the same scenario again. Rogue is going to drop, and instead, Mad Lions played it super well, and so for I think, you know, a lot of people on Twitter, on different Discords, were like, yeah, done and dusted. There's no way that you know, Rogue comes back from this, surely. And that takes us to the fourth game. Sorry, I was thinking about something else at the same time. Fourth game. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the Scara meme, where he goes, until they lose, they're winning the game. Well, that's pretty much what happened in that fourth game. Fourth game, Mad Lions has the same great early game as they're used to, and it seems like it's going to be a close game. I believe at the 14 to 15 minute, they're already 3k ahead, which is a sizable lead, you know, you can say, and they're managing to take over what do you call it, the game with their late game comp. So they have the sorry, I'm completely missing out the names. They had Gwen, and they had, why am I missing his name? Swain. There we go. Swain. Had the Gwen, had the Swain, and usually those are very scary late game champions, and the Kalista as well. So like with this early lead, if they're ahead with late game champions, it should be all good. And I was quite impressed at that point that they managed to bring it back. Especially, I think Marang played a big piece here, especially with his Jarvan ults. He seems to be very comfortable with the Jarvan ult, the Jarvan pick, and enables good situations with the Jarvan ult. That's what I meant to say. And so what happens after that is, with this good comp, the good wombo combos, Rogue managed to bring it back bit by bit, and eventually just take over the game because Mad Lions doesn't have an answer to that composition. The Lucian Nami is suddenly taking or suddenly having a lot of popularity within that series. Obviously played a lot in the LPL and a little bit in the LCK. I think way more in the LPL, and especially we've seen it if you guys watched the LPL finals earlier today. I believe it was in all 5 games. So far in this first series, the Lucian Nami seems to be working pretty well. Game 5 was an absolute barnstormer. Back and forth on both sides. It was actually hard to tell who was going to win that one because when it started, Rogue was ahead, and then Mad Lions was ahead, and then Rogue came back, and back and forth and back and forth. So it definitely made for a very exciting game. I'm pretty impressed by the level that was shown by both players here, both teams, and some people said it was a bit of a fiesta. I think in terms of macro, there was definitely some good elements here, and yeah, that was a crazy game. Rogue advances on the 3-2 scoreline. They make it to Malmo, which is great for Larsen, who I believe is Swedish, right? And yeah. Moving on to the second game, the G2 versus Misfits. Now, I believe I had predicted the 3-0 for G2 because G2 is in insane form right now, and they're definitely one of the favorites to win it all this season again, fortunately. But they started very strong on the first game. Misfits didn't manage to find their footing. I think what G2 does really well is shutting down VTO. Now, obviously, when you have a player that's called Caps in your team, it does help quite a bit, right? However, the focus was like super strong on the jungle mid duo. VTO going 1-5. Almost they almost get somewhat perfect gamed. It was the final score. It was like 27-2 in terms of kills, 9-2 in terms of turrets, 4 Drakes to 1, and they did get a Baron each, but 30-minute game, 17,000 gold difference. It was an absolute stomp. G2 were just running at them for fun. Caps goes 12-0-12 on the Ari. So your first impression is like, well, that's gonna be this type of series. Okay, we get it. Not fun, but sure. Let's just watch Misfits get absolutely obliterated for 3 games and have dinner. Well, we go into the second game, and suddenly the tables have completely turned. This time, Misfits are the one who fold G2 in half, playing an even faster game in 25 minutes, giving the same results to G2 with 2 kills and only 1 turret on their side and 1 dragon. While Misfits goes 14 kills, 9 turrets. Well, 2 Drakes, obviously, they didn't have time. The game was so fast. With a 12,000, almost 13,000 gold difference. Obviously, you put VTO on his patented Akali. It's going to do a lot of damage. But I think here, the big difference was Neon on his Sivir going 8-0 and 5, sorry. With Mersa, who is really playing well this split, I will say, and really enabled Neon to go crazy on that game. You know, being able to close G2 so dominantly in 25 minutes, especially in their current form, isn't necessarily available for everyone. So super impressive by Misfits nonetheless to get that game in that series and being able to tie the score. Fortunately, that didn't last for very long, as Game 3 and Game 4. Well, Game 3 in particular was a bit of a battle. Neon was trying to, you know, help his team survive as much as possible. Had a very good game on his Sivir, and was pretty much the only saving grace for his team. You know, if you look, the score lines like 1-7 top, 2-8 jungle, 3-4 on his mid, and he's 12-5. He's really, you know, he wants to win that series at all costs. But Flackhead goes absolutely insane, 13-1. 40-minute game. It took so long thanks to Neon, but you know, it was Neon and 4 bots, so what could they do? And the last game, well, last game was just another stomp, unfortunately. It felt like Misfits didn't have any answer left for G2 at this point. They drafted the surprise Renekton mids, which forced an Ornn top, and Broken Blade gets the Gwen. They also open Zeri, Lulu for the bot lane. So Misfits kind of fumbled on their draft. Have to rely on a Corki mid. It wasn't good to look at. It was really, really unfortunate situation. G2 still look the most convincing team, I'd say, out of all the candidates to go to finals. They'll be facing Rogue in the upper bracket final. So we'll have to see if they're able to pull as dominant as a game as they've had against Misfits. I think it'll be a bit more competitive this time. Sorry. You know, Rogue are definitely looking to be a very strong team here, but who knows what Rogue has prepared. Marang has been pulling off the Jarvan picks, so we'll see what they're able to do here. And so we have the current standings as it is, with Rogue G2 and Fnatic versus Misfits onto next week, and the winner of this game going against Mad Lions. Fnatic XL, well, we're gonna talk about it right now because it deserves its own segment, as we usually do. A reverse sweep that had me react just like this guy on the GIF, as you can see. Just looking at my screen and going absolutely insane. And I think we need to really go game by game on this one, because if you weren't there, you had to be there to believe it. Now, going into this game, you know, a little bit of context. Fnatic comes out of a 3-0 weekend, 3-1 if you really want to, you know, kind of tiebreaker. Definitely looks a bit better in their way of playing as a team. Humanoid was showing signs as well of, you know, not dying so early in lane as he's been a bit victim of. Well, I should say guilty more than victim, because let's be honest, there's a lot of these ganks that he could have avoided where he had vision. Nonetheless, we looked a bit better, looked like we had some momentum. So I think we were expecting definitely Fnatic to look better here, going, you know, into that series. That's not what happened at all. Actually, well, there's two things about this. The first one is that as we go into the first game, we play the early game super well. We decide to pick Lucian Nami, which is actually a strong pick, and you know, I don't know if I should say contested, but at least definitely favorable for a few comps, a few players. And what it was is that we opened Nyla Yumi in exchange. Now, what you need to know about Nyla, she has, well, she's a 200-year champion, as any recent champions are, and she's has this passive which basically, if you're with an enchanter that can give you shields and heals, she just gives them back. So it's like, I heal you, you heal me, I heal you back, and it's some bullshit. So she just becomes unkillable. So she can easily trade, although she doesn't have that much damage in the early, as she goes to build what's the name? Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard. The ADC item that gives you HP. It's blood something. Oh my god. Why? It's not giving it to me. No. What's the item? Whatever. If you guys know what I mean. The item that it gives you that type of HP. I gotta go see now what the name of that item is again. No, I can't find it. Shield bow. It has nothing to do with blood. Immortal shield bow. That's the one. So she gets shield bow. She gets a bunch of resistance items. So she gets heals with shields with heals with shields. On top of that, they thought it was a good idea to give her a spell shield, dashes, and an ulti that's an AoE ulti for an ADC. You know, Samira, cough. So even though we started the game super well, we unfortunately get caught a few times and allow Nyla to come back and do the bullshit that Nyla does, which, you know, despite I would see some good comeback team fights, Nyla just comes in, ults, grabs a bunch of us, kills us. Even though we try to fight back, we get swarmed by the super minions and we lose our base. Bit of an upsetting game, but still a bit hopeful, as you know, we had the early game, we played well at the start. So personally, I still felt that it was fine. Just a bit annoying to lose a game that we should have won. Second game, we decide to leave the Yumi open again. So you're like, weird. We pick Lucian Nami again. Weird. And it feels like we get stuck in picks. Like we get the Shyvana pick, which, you know, isn't really that convincing the way we play it, but nonetheless, we get just dominated completely. Nuke Duck goes for Twisted Fate, has insane mobility. We've tried to catch them off, but we're just unable to get anything going. They get 4 Drake, Soul, no contest. They get Infernal as well. We just get shredded left, right, and center. Game 2 just doesn't exist. Now Game 3. Game 3, 0-2 down for our boys. Do or die moment here. And we finally get blue side. We are all praying, please do not make the mistake of not picking Yuumi, as it's clearly the difference maker here. I'm gonna put some light on because it's getting very dark. Ooh, Jesus. And so we finally picked the Yuumi. We get Twitch because there's a bunch of ADCs that get banned, and Twitch seems like the last viable one. Wunder this time decides to go for his patented Gragas, and I don't know how even to do a summary of this game, to be honest, because it was such a back and forth situation. We managed somehow to stack the Drakes, get Cloud Soul, 93% win rate, to get the Elder throughout the game, but man, so many misplays, especially like Upset at one point tries to catch the opponents 2v3 as they're going into bottom river and tries to pinch them with Humanoid, but Humanoid is super fast. And oh yeah, Nuke Duck locks in the Nocturne, so it gives him high mobility, high kill pressure against champions like Twitch, who have low mobility in exchange. And we're like, at this moment, it's gone. It's gone. And there's another team fight where there's a TP behind our players. Upset is completely isolated, so he doesn't get pinched. And you feel like, oh my god, he can, you know, open up on some isolated champions. Gets insta-stunned by Marcoon's Sejuani ult and destroyed by Patrick. And at this point I'm like, okay, this is done. We are actually getting 3-0. And they're pushing into the base. And a magnificent combo from Hylissang and Wunder. I want you guys to watch that part again as they defend the base and manage to catch Patrick. There's a combination between Hilly's Q on Yuumi and Wunder's ult on Gragas, where Hylissang baits the spell shield from Patrick with his Q, which allows the casket to hit, pushed back by Razork, who gets stunned onto the wall, and we manage to survive this. We chase them, manage to get 2 more kills on the Lulu and the Nocturne, and we manage to stay alive. And as it goes on and on, we manage to get the Elder, we manage to get a few picks, we manage to get the Baron. It's an insane back and forth at this stage, where finally it takes Humanoid, Razork and Wunder to get the last few kills. Thankfully, Upset spawns in time to push the last 2 turrets, and we close this game. 45-minute absolute shit show that could have ended us the game. And from this point forward, we just pray. We just pray that we actually win the series. Game 4 is just as bloody and messy. We, give away against the Nyla Yuumi. I completely go insane at this stage, thinking, have you not learned from the first game? We do get caught a few times. It takes an absolute heroic Baron steal from Razork to get us back into the game and take over, because Yumi with Markun's Wukong, that's a recipe for disaster. Wukong can just invis, dash into your backline, ulti, and just wreck your carries within the snap of a finger. Luckily, that scenario didn't really happen. I feel like Finn whiffed a lot of his ultis and his engaged, and which allowed us to sort of counterattack. And again, very back and forth game. We managed to get the win after I believe it was an Infernal. No, sorry, it was the Baron or Inferno fight. Can't remember. Nonetheless, managed to close the game, run it down, and we go into Silver Scrapes. Music is playing into our head, thinking, oh my god, are we actually going to be able to reverse sweep? This time, this game was, I would say, a bit more under control compared to the other ones. There's still a little bit of back and forth, but this time our bot lane played it super well. Upset ends the game 7-0-5. Humanoid had some very good ults with the Ornn helping to catch Patrick, which it felt like he kind of lost his momentum and as he started losing some games. Patrick was very good on his placement during team fights, and that's what made the difference, especially when he was playing the Nylon in his first game. And I felt the more games that went on, the more he was getting caught in really poor positions, and that happened a few times when Humanoid was catching the Ornn ult, putting it onto either Patrick or Markun. Upset was doing a good job of completely shredding the opponents, getting his LDR usually as a second item. So the itemization actually was pretty decent, I would say, all things said, on the way we played whatsoever. But if I have to commend something, I'll at least commend that part from the boys. That was pretty impressive from them here. Last element, obviously, as we managed to win the game, close it out after one of the most heart-wrenching series that we've been part of, and putting, as I said, probably in the first time in the history of Fnatic, a reverse sweep in our books. That was some crazy stuff. One thing I do want to note is Razork's performance. Absolute MVP. This guy was not going quiet into the night. He had so many clutch moments. Impressive Poppy. Probably gonna be banned against, or probably Misfit's gonna ban it against us, because super comfortable on that pick. Really decisive. Even if he missed a few ultimates, the ones that he hit were crucial. And I don't know. When I look at Razork's behavior, his interviews and everything, I think he's such an important component of the team. He brings a lot of positive behavior and mindset. He enables the team so well in his gameplay, and I don't know, he's so cute, he's so wholesome. I loved his interview in the end where he spoke about the script and the fact that he was never worried, because for him it's just scripted, so if it's scripted, he knows he's not gonna lose whatever he does. So I think that's a very funny way of thinking about it, and fingers crossed it actually does happen, and he's able to we'll go all the way to the finals, and we get to see them in Malmo for those of you who will be going there. And hopefully I get to meet you guys and get to chat with you. But yeah, full 5 games series. Let me know in the comments of the YouTube how you felt, what your reaction was. Was it the same as my Japanese friend here who went completely bonkers? Because that was my reaction. That was my reaction. I think I went through all the emotions: anger, hope, disbelief, sadness, depression, rage, happiness, craziness, all the nests you can think about. Those I went through. So yeah, drop it in the comments, guys. Let me know how you felt. What was your reaction? And just get ready, because there's gonna be more this weekend. Speaking of which, thank you guys for filling in the predictions so quickly. I just learned that the free, but that my well, I don't think it's a trial, it's just a free version of Typeform, which is the little form to do the polls I get you guys to vote on, only has now a 10 maximum reply threshold. So if you guys wanted to participate and didn't, I'm very sorry. I just discovered that the other day. It'll unfortunately stay like this until the end of playoffs, because I'm not going to start buying an account just for maybe 11 or 12 responses. But maybe in the future, who knows, if my audience get bigger, if there's more participants in what do you call it, in the polls in the future, maybe I'll increase it, but not for now. Looking at our games for the weekend, starting on Friday, Fnatic versus Misfits. We're all behind the team, it feels like. I'm thinking it's going to be a full 5 games. You guys are a bit more confident, 3-1. After last week's games, I don't know what's what, because I thought that the team that had Yumi would just win by default, and that us going Lucian Nami for over and over and over was super int. But I guess I was wrong. It just comes down to the execution and the form of the players on that day. So what really is a draft? I'm not too sure. What I am sure is that you guys think it's going to be a free one, so we'll see. You obviously get extra points if your score line is correct on top of predicting the correct team. G2 versus Rogue. I'm thinking it's going to be a full 5 game. You think it's going to be a bit more of a stomp. In any case, G2 is probably winning. I think we all agree that they're the big favorites right now. 3-0 Copium by Hiek. If we actually do 3-0 Misfits, I'm going to start believing even harder than I do right now. So that's going to be dangerous for me, because I'm a bit older than probably most of you guys, so I need to be very careful with my health. So I actually discovered in my beard the other day a gray hair. I don't know if it's the game that did this, but I'm starting to panic a little bit, guys. I'm not as confident as I could have been. So we'll see. But 3-0, hey, why not? It's out there. You have a lot of gray hairs on your head and you're 27. Well, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you sign when you become a Fnatic fan. You go with the heartbreaks, you go with the heart attacks. You just have to include that in your life insurance. As you state, I support Fnatic, and they know that they need to provide extra care for you, because you can be put in severe medical conditions. So yeah, good luck. Good luck this weekend. I don't know if I should say fortunately or unfortunately. I'll be out in a party on Fridays, so I won't get to see the games. And the party is gonna finish probably super late. So, and I'm not even sure if I'll be able to have access to internet because it's in like a remote area where I live. So I'm probably discovering the games the next day, and then I won't be able to see the G2 Rogue game because I'll be at a concert. So a very busy weekend. Obviously, if Fnatic wins against Misfits, I'll have my Sunday free to rest and to pray that we go to Malmo. So yeah, you guys are also hopeful that Fnatic wins against Mad Lions. We both agree it's going to be a free too. Think Misfits will be easier than Excel. Well, that's what seems to be the sentiment for the players as well. They were referencing that there was like a stronger, well, that the bot lane from Excel was stronger. I will say Neon did play rather well against G2, but if Razor keeps playing to his level, I think he'll be able to really cause some problems to Zanzara and really create tempo for his team. I want to see Humanoid to continue playing like he did in the last 2 games because his Sylas was super strong, and I think if we can remove the Sylas from, like, if we can ban Akali and get Sylas for us, I think that limits VTO on his like actual comfort picks. So I think in terms of draft we'll have a bit of an easier schedule. It all comes down to execution, as I said. As we've seen this weekend, you can have the Yuumi, you can not have the Yuumi and still be able to win and or lose the game. So everyone's complaining that Yuumi is a super strong pick, but we've shown that not only are we able to beat the Yuumi, but we're able to do it with Lucian Nami, which is a really discussed pick, as in how strong it is or how strong it isn't, depending on who you are. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'm thinking we're probably gonna continue with Lucian Nami, as since we've been able to win with it. I think there's some confidence into the pick, and it feels like we're a bit stubborn. And I believe was it Upset or someone else that said that if we believe in a pick, even though it doesn't work, we're gonna continue playing. And that's what happened with the Rogue game last split, where we still continue with the TF despite not being able to execute it. But yeah, Huma stepped up. Yeah, oh yeah, towards the end he definitely stepped up. I just don't want to be in a scenario where it's back against the walls for him to step up. So I want him to step up straight away from the first game, instead of being, hey, if you lose this game, the season is over, and instead start clapping people. So it's better for them, it's better for all of us, for our heart condition, and we can also feel a bit more confident going further into that losers bracket, as we're playing 2 games this weekend. Where we have to prepare for 2 teams eventually, so that becomes a bit more of a challenge going forward. So we'll have to see. I want to stay confident against Misfits. Mad Lions, it will really depend on how well we play. I think they're still a very strong team, and that we need to be careful here. But that's going to be a bit all the elements around our playoffs. Guys, as usual, thank you for tuning in. If we shut down Neon, it's a free series. I think Neon and VTO are the 2 main threats here. So yeah, we'll see. Again, it's really on the day. Maybe Neon won't be feeling it, and it'll be VTO who'll be looking stronger. But I'll agree that Neon was the one really causing some damage for against G2 last week. But guys, as usual, if you want to follow me, if you like the podcast, if you want to know when you have to tune in for the next one, make sure to follow on the Twitter, personal, and the show on YouTube. Just typing inside Fnatic's Brush for all the playlists and recent episodes. And Spotify, that's been there for a few weeks now. If you can't, if you're traveling, if you're using public transportation, or if you're having a walk, and you somehow want to hear my voice rambling about LEC and Fnatic, I'm available here, there as well. So I've seen a few people who have followed the channel. Thank you very much. I hope the sound quality is good. Let me know if there's anything wrong. If you're part of the Fnatic Discord, there's an IFB podcast channel if you want to discuss here, if you want to give any type of feedback. Thank you for our man Hyek for giving his opinion today and for tuning in. We pray for this weekend for 2 big wins, and because I'll be going to Malmo next week, so I want to see my boys. So let's go. Keep on improving. Always Fnatic, and good luck. See you guys next week. Bye.